Welcome in. This is the 49ers alarm update, your look early every morning at the biggest news surrounding the 49ers. And congratulations are in order to Jenna and Brock Purdy. This is from Jenna Purdy's Instagram, borrowed it from there. Big announcement this morning. Millie Jolene Purdy, life just became a whole lot sweeter, is the caption from Jenna Purdy. I already see a comment there. Congratulations from Kyle Juszczyk. So, man, life moves fast, right? Brock Purdy, pick number 262, just 3 seasons ago, 2022. The saga of 2022, 2023, 2024. It was married before the 2024 season. And now the family is growing. So congratulations to Brock, his wife Jenna, the entire Purdy family. Obviously, news that they were keeping as private as possible, but today they announced on Instagram, yes, that is why Brock Purdy took the personal day off of 49ers training camp practice on Friday. Didn't want to share anything until they were comfortable sharing it. That was their news to share with the world. That has now been shared, and it's the lead of our 49ers alarm update. 49ers will resume training camp practice today. That is happening at 10:25 a.m. So I'm going to head down to Santa Clara. Today happens to be the first day that the 49ers will put on the pads. So this is a big day for the football team. They had to have 4 non-padded practices by NFL rule before donning the pads for the 5th. So they'll have one today, then they'll have another practice on Tuesday before a day off on Wednesday. These are blocks of 3 on, 1 off. We don't have the schedule yet for next week, but next week gets exciting because the Denver Broncos, with a lot of former 49ers, including Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga, will come to town for a joint practice on Dwight Clark Day, August 7th. Then there's going to be a game against the Denver Broncos to open up the preseason. And then the trip to Vegas, joint practice with the Raiders, followed by a game against the Raiders. So training camp is just now picking up. It's crazy because a lot of people are already trying to make judgments on, oh, this guy, he's going to win this position battle. The 49ers have this set, and it's people. We've had 4 days of non-padded practices. We've only seen the warm-up so far. Let's stop with the compulsion to draw conclusions from absolutely everything. You don't draw conclusions from the first 4 days of practice before the pads come on. Today is when things are going to start to get more real for the 49ers at training camp. They should be more exciting. We're going to have our instant reaction coming up right after the practice. So, but 15 minutes, however long I make it, a ton of you are watching those. Be ready for that when it does come out. This morning, these alarm updates, I like to feature something that's happening around the 49ers, maybe feature a player. Once we get some padded practices under our belts, we can start, again, looking at entire clusters of stock up, stock down. We can start looking at how are all the rookies doing. It's just too early to do that. But there is one player that has caught my eye that I'm going to keep an eye out for over the course of the next few weeks, because he already has done it at a decently high level in the NFL, and that is the cornerback Dallis Flowers. There's a look at Dallis Flowers. He had a big pass breakup yesterday at 49ers practice that really, really jumped out at me. Like, it was one of those where I didn't think anybody was going to get to this football. Mac Jones threw it through it was a little bit of a floater, but it was a deep out pattern. And I'm watching along the diagonal. So I'm watching diagonally toward Mac Jones. I'm behind the quarterback and to the right. And this throw is going obviously upfield and to the left. So I have a very, very nice straight line of view for Dallis Flowers just flying out of nowhere and knocking the pass away. This is a veteran cornerback who was with the Indianapolis Colts before he was with the 49ers, and then with Tampa Bay very briefly. But he was a starter for the Colts, and he was a starter who actually had a very, very solid relative athletic score. I mean, you would even say that's elite. It's over 9.954, 4.440. Good. I mean, the 10-yard split is absolutely elite. 1.47. I will say though that this all came before Dallas Flowers tore his Achilles a couple seasons ago in 2023 for the Indianapolis Colts. He was not the same player after he came back from the Achilles a season later. They cut him. They waived him at that point. But he is now a year further removed, and the play that I saw from Dallas Flowers at training camp yesterday seemed to suggest that he might have some of that explosion back. Again, he was not in the frame until he suddenly was in the frame, and he flew in there and he knocked away this deep out pass to, well, it's from Mac Jones. I forgot who was even intended to, but it was one of the more impressive feats of athleticism that we've seen on the 49ers practice field so far. And I think that the reason that I bring this up is one of the same reasons that I talked about last night. The 49ers are in an interesting spot regarding the cornerback position because of the Renardo Green injury. I mean, this was interesting entering training camp, even with everybody healthy. But now that Renardo is going to be out for about 2 to 3 weeks, it's something where a lot of unproven young names are going to have a chance. And somebody like Dallas Flowers, who has been able to already perform at a starting level in the NFL, may have an inside track to at least give the 49ers a performance floor that it's very necessary at the cornerback position. You obviously have Lenore. Then you have Upton Stout, the rookie, who's been working with Dialmado Lenore. They have high hopes for him, but he's more of a nickelback, right, at 5'8". Trey Brown, he's going to be more of an outside cornerback, and it's Trey Brown and Dallas Flowers, two free agent pickups. Brown from the Seahawks, Flowers previously with Indianapolis, and then very briefly with Tampa Bay. These two guys are your vet cornerbacks who I think have a legitimate shot at being the number 3 for San Francisco if Upton Stout needs a little bit more time to develop as that nickelback. And of course, if these two guys are the number 3, maybe they do get some time inside, but I think the 49ers looking at them more as outside cornerbacks. They signed Eli Apple yesterday, but that is a depth piece. Camp body depth piece. I would not say that Eli Apple is going to be on the same ground as Dallas Flowers and Trey Brown. I think a lot of people are reading a little too far into that. And then you can't forget Trey Avery and especially Jacob Robinson and Derek Canteen. Those are two rookies who have been making pass breakups. So just the past 2 practices, we've heard Jacob Robinson and Derek Canteen have their name called out a lot for the 49ers. On top of everything, listen to this on Dallas Flowers. His rookie season, he was the Colts' primary kick returner. He led the league at 31.1 yards per return, and he was named to the Pro Football Writers Association all-rookie team. So when you looked at that relative athletic score and you saw the 1.47 10-yard split, which is insane, by the way, under 1.5, like that's absolutely crazy. If he could bring any type of that explosion now post-Achilles, I don't know if he can, but if he can bring any of that, he's immediately going to be in the mix to be one of the 49ers kick return men, because you just want pure speed in that kick return, right? You want somebody that can really get up from 0 to 60, 0 to 100 really fast. And I think that Dallas Flowers, his rookie year with the Colts, he showed that 31.1 yards per kick return is absolutely nothing to scoff at. So that's a featured player to watch. 49ers featured player to watch here over the course of this next day of training camp. We'll be out there today. Wanted to give you a nice 49ers alarm update. We'll obviously loop back to where we began. Congratulations to Jenna and Brock Purdy. Why? Well, because the big news dropped today. You know, I just realized Christian McCaffrey and Olivia Culpo, a baby girl just a couple weeks ago. Now Brock Purdy and Jenna Purdy welcome their own, and those two baby girls are going to be about the same age. So things are happening in sync timing-wise for the 49ers. The journey, again, for Brock Purdy and his family has been just an absolutely staggering one. I was just talking to somebody yesterday about how quickly this has all evolved. You talk about 2022, he was making his first start against Tampa Bay with Tom Brady on the other side. You talk about the fact that he broke his rib in that game, yet still somehow played on a short week against Seattle on Thursday, won the 49ers over with that performance to clinch the division against the Seattle Seahawks. And then tore his elbow after playing really, really well down the stretch, tore his elbow in the NFC Championship game against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that's the craziest part of this whole story, was able to come back from a UCL tear and still put on an MVP finalist season in 2023 without missing a single snap and still secure that contract. The contract came this offseason, came after he got married, and now, of course, he welcomes his first child. So congratulations to the Purdy family on this practice number 5 day of training camp, the first day that the 49ers will don pads at camp. Maybe a couple questions this morning. I'm going to take the train down to practice. If there's Juwan Jennings news for you today, I will get off the train and record a video, or maybe should I just do the video on the train? I guess that would be an option as well. So we're still waiting on Juwan Jennings, that contract modification extension. I don't know exactly how that will finish up for the 49ers, but I do know that they're working on something with Juwan Jennings. It seems that they're signing somebody every other day. That's a typical camp occurrence. You've got to make sure that you've got enough bodies to make it through the whole thing. So it just seems that the news cycle for the 49ers never is dying, but some tremendous news for Brock Purdy and his family this morning. Brock and CMC's kids are going to be best friends. Yeah, they're going to be very, very similar age. Like 2-3 weeks apart, maybe, right? I think that's close enough. That's almost the same. Will Eli Apple help? Don't they need more reps for younger players? They've got plenty of reps for the younger players. You don't want to overtax the younger players. The second that you start straining guys too much, especially early in camp, before they've built up the appropriate endurance and calluses, that's when you could maximize your chances of hamstring strains. And those are already an issue, not just with the 49ers, but across the whole league. So that's why you bring in bodies for camp, so that they can eat some of those reps so guys aren't overly repped out. So that's why they brought Eli Apple in. He will help in that regard. I don't expect him to help on the 53-man roster. Maybe he's got a surprising amount left in the tank. Maybe he will shock us and become part of this football team and become a valuable contributor. But most signings at this point of the year, somebody like Quintez Cephas, somebody like Equanimeous St. Brown, somebody like Eli Apple, those are going to be guys who eat up reps over the course of training camp to make sure that the team maximizes its chances of getting through healthy. How's the D-line looking at practice? I'll have a better answer for you after some of these padded practices. They look big, like they look physically imposing, but that's all I can honestly tell you. Anybody trying to say a little bit more about the D-line or the running backs, like if you're trying to tell me that the running backs are good at breaking tackles right now, I'll tell you you're lying to me. If you're trying to tell me that the D-line is looking really physical right now, I'll tell you that you're lying to me, because the pads aren't on yet. So we're not really seeing the true essence of football. So they come on today, and I'm about to head down to Santa Clara, and I think that today's report's going to be really good. So you should set your alarm notification bell on YouTube right now, so you know when the instant reaction is coming out right after practice. I just said no news yet on Juwan Jennings. I wonder if that's Dave Fleming. That'd be really cool if it was Dave Fleming watching the YouTube channel. D Flem, see? That's the Giants broadcaster, Dave Fleming. Maybe it is. You never know. So I see a lot of this didn't like the signing of Eli Apple. Guys, save your emotion. This is a camp body signing. Like, if you're going to stress out and not like signings of the 89th and 90th men on the roster, you're going to be so worn out by the time the season begins. I'm just trying to help you out here. This is not a signing that the 49ers have made to raise the ceiling of the cornerback room. This is a signing the 49ers made to operate through training camp practices. If the guy surprises them and has a little extra left in the tank and turns into a contributing player, great. That's house money. But they're not signing him with that in mind. They're signing him to get through these training camp practices. So there's really nothing to dislike about the signing. It's just a signing. It's a procedural move to get through camp. It's like everybody was upset that Ricky Pearsall was on PUP. It was a procedural move to work Ricky Pearsall into training camp. And now you see, after everybody freaked out a week ago, that Ricky Pearsall's moving faster than any other receiver, and he's fine, and he's out at practice. So sometimes you just need to take a deep breath and realize that the business of football works this way. They've brought in Equinemius St. Brown. They've brought in Quintez Cephas on the offensive side. And now, with an injury to Renardo Green, they have brought in the cornerback Eli Apple on the defensive side. Mark says, congratulations to Brock and Jenna. No one deserves it more than Brock and CMC. Maybe this new birth everywhere signals a new birth for the 49ers this year. Maybe, just maybe. There's your 49ers alarm update. I've got to head down to Santa Clara. I'll talk to you very soon. Hit the subscribe button, but hit the notification bell. The instant reaction from the helmet is going to be a very, very good one. Take care.